Y'all, I'm on my way home and I can't wait to get home. Look at this storm that's coming. There's a storm coming again. Yeah, I think the hurricane is supposed to be touching down in North Kakalaki tomorrow, I think. Man, them look like twister cones. What is that? Hold on. Yeah, it's cool. I have the right of way. Alright, y'all, so I'm gonna sit up here and tell y'all about this dream. At first I wasn't gonna say nothing about this dream, but I'm like, you know what, I'm honest, we'll go ahead and share it, because I've been sitting up here talking about marriage this whole time. So I had a dream that I was somewhere, and it was like I was looking at myself in a distance, but it was someone I knew that I used to talk to years ago. This is way before I got married. And this person was trying to kiss on me, or not trying to, but he was kissing all on me and all on my face and stuff. But I wasn't paying him no attention. Like, I was looking the other way. Like, I was not paying him any attention. And y'all, out of nowhere, God snatched me. I don't know if he snatched me, and he just snatched me, and I went flying in the air. It's not funny, but I went flying in the air. And while I was flying, it reminded me, if you ever seen the movie The Wiz, when Diana Ross went flying before she hit that Z or whatever the thing is. It was like I was like laying and I'm like flying, and I looked at my wrist, this wrist and this wrist. They had these bangles on them, but they weren't just bangles. They were really thick bangles, but they were pretty. Like, I don't know if they were jewelry. I took it like they were jewelry. And when I looked while I was like flying, after God just snatched me, like literally this guy was kissing on me, and God just snatched me from the guy, and just, I went flying in the air. And I had bangles. I looked while I was flying. You know how I'm flying? And I looked, and I had bangle like this. It was like a bangle around and right here, but they weren't they weren't like, it was just like, okay, imagine, what is this, traffic? Excuse me, y'all, hold on. At my wrist while I was flying in the air, I looked, it was like a bangle, but it wasn't like a bangle you could take off. Like, these things were like, you couldn't remove them off. I had a bangle on this hand and on this hand. It was like a pretty bangle. And when I was flying in the air, I realized, oh, the reason why I have those bangles because I'm still married. That's what I said in the dream. Like, the bangle represent, those things around my arm, around here, represented I'm married. But I didn't think anything about it. It wasn't like as if I was just like, oh my God, because they were pretty. They were like white gold. Like, they looked silver shiny. Like, they were pretty. But while I was flying, and I'm not flying, God just snatched me from this guy, and I went flying in the air. Like, I'm just laid back flying, and I'm just still flying. And I realized, I looked at my arms, and I realized I had these silver thick things around my wrist, and they were pretty. And I was just like, oh, this is because I'm still married. That's what it means. And I said this in my dream. So I'm not laughing. Y'all gotta understand, it's funny because it's like, I don't know if the Lord is telling me, Mona, don't go there, because I don't plan to go there. But when I tell you, imagine another man kissing on me, like he was kissing all on my shoulder, my face and everything. I wasn't paying him no mind or whatever, but he was just kissing on me. And God, it was so quick. God took his hand and was like, and I went flying. And then when I looked down on my arms, and I'm like laid, like he snatched me. It's like he snatched me and flung. I wouldn't even say he flung me. He just snatched me, snatched my body. And I was laid like back. And when I looked at my arms, there was these two thick, shiny, all I could say is like I wouldn't even say bangles, because bangles make noise. It was one like white gold. They were pretty, and I realized, oh, this is because I'm married. This is because I'm still married. So I thought I ought to share that. But I never had a dream where God intervened. Well, I never had a dream when he intervened. He snatched the daylights out of me. I mean, it wasn't even like as if, it was just like in front, the guy who was kissing on me. I'm on my way, because I'm on my way home. I gotta give my baby these antibiotics. Somebody got in a car accident. But yeah, y'all, I never had a dream where God snatched me up. I'm talking about, I went flying. And when I went flying, I noticed that right here was like clunk, clink. And I at first I was just like, what is this? But I automatically knew what it was. I just said it in my dream. This is because I'm still married. So I knew God snatched me up because I was still married. And I knew what was on my wrist, it represent I was still married. So I guess God, so you think that little ring on your daggone finger? No. I mean, when I tell you these things were like clink, clink, like they were just like, but they were pretty though. They weren't like, oh my gosh, like brass shackles or something like that. You know what I mean? They weren't shackles. They were like a huge gold. It looked like white gold. It looked like white gold, like silver or like white gold. I wouldn't say like white gold because it didn't bother me. When I looked down and I was like, oh, this is because I'm married. This is because I'm still married. And that's what I said in the dream. Y'all, but I can't believe God he snatched me up, man. He didn't just snatch. It was like, whew, and I was flying. I'm talking about not flying this way. I was flying like back, like as if I'm laying back. Yeah, but I just wanted to share that. So I just wanted to share that. Because at first I was like, I ain't gonna say nothing. But I'm like, you know what? All I know is this. And the person that was kissing me was somebody I don't talk to. I have no whatever. I won't plan to. I've probably seen like their profile one time, but but God clearly showed me in that dream. I guess he was like, don't even think about it. Because when I tell you, you know how mama get mad at somebody and they kind of snatch them? No. God took me out of that. Like he snatched. And I went flying back. Like I went flying. Like my body wasn't going like this. Like I'm like flying to the point where I could see like my wrist. And I was like, ooh, like, you know how you go, and I'm like, what's this? And then I realized that's because I'm still married. These things that are on my freaking arms. But they weren't. They look like jewelry. It looked like thick, heck of a white gold, like white thick, like it went around. One big round thing right here and one big round thing right there, and I could not get them off. Not that I was trying to get them off, but I knew that these were permanent. I knew this thing was permanent. So, yeah, that was my dream I had last night. And then it switched to, it was weird. It was some scientist, and they were trying to figure out what happened in the future. And her colleagues deliberately left her, knowing that she was going to try to figure out something that they already knew. And they left her. And it has something to do with, I know this is going to sound crazy, it has something to do with aliens. And then next thing you know, it switched. And then I saw like a group of Chinese people, but they were something from the past. I don't know. That I can't remember that. But all I remember is that they left her and they weren't planning to come back. I think she thought they were going to come back, but they were going on to not the future, but somewhere else, like another realm. I don't know. It was just weird. So I woke up from that dream. But yes, I remember God snatched me. And the thing is, y'all, I knew God snatched me out. I knew he snatched me. I knew it was him that snatched me. He snatched me. Snatched me like I don't know what. And while I was flying backwards, I saw these huge things on my arms. Like, they were just huge. I mean, I wouldn't say they were huge, but they were not. They were like hecka thick, like this thick, like one big bar. You know what I mean? On both of them. Oh, that's a red light. Just don't hit my car. I mean, if you wanna do this, then that's fine. Just don't hit my car. Just don't hit my car. If you can't be patient, just don't hit my car. Yeah, I'm out in the middle of the street. Come on, light, please change. Why is it traffic right now? Look, I know people coming up from North Kakalaki, but why is it traffic? Yeah, so what do y'all think that dream meant? I mean, don't commit adultery. The snatching away. I mean, I will say this, in my dream, when I looked at this permanent jewelry or bar or whatever it is on my arms, my bottom arms, because they remind you of like a jewelry, but they were like really thick and they could not come off. And I immediately, when I saw it, I said, oh, you know, the reason why, that's because I'm still married. That's why they're on here, because I'm still married. You know, I said that in my dream. I've never heard anyone discuss about certain bars around people's wrist or anything. Like, these were hecka thick. You understand what I'm saying? Like, these weren't like, you know how we have our little wedding rings? No, this was like, you know what I mean? Like, noticeable. Like, what? And oh, that's because I'm still married. And I'm flying back. And I'm like, oh, that's because I'm still married. That's what these are. So, did I feel some type of way when God snatched me? I didn't feel like, oh, I'm caught or anything like that. I just was flying. we talking about God. He snatched me so hard, I was flying. I was freaking, I was flying. Like, I was flying, and I was just like, I wasn't fearful or anything like that. I was just flying. And I remember having on like, I wouldn't say a gown, but it was something flowy, and I was just flying. And I saw my wrist, and I saw that around, and I was just like, at first I was about to question it, but I already had the answer. And I was like, oh, that's because I'm still married. And yeah. And when I look back at the dream, the guy who was kissing on me and like trying to kiss all on my face and stuff, and trying to kiss all on my shoulders and everything, I wasn't paying him any attention. I was just looking away and just looking around and just looking away. But when I tell you, God was like, And I knew it was God. Like, I knew, like, he put his hand and snatched me, and just, I guess the guy, like, oh no. And I went flying back. And while I was flying, I remember feeling like the bottom of my dress, it was just flowing, but I was just like laying and I was flying. And when I looked at my wrist, they were shiny and they were round, like they were cuffed. They weren't even cuffs, they was just round. Like, it didn't even have no room, like they was just a part of like my arms. And I realized, like, oh, that's because I'm still married. And I said that in my dream. I'm gonna have to pray and ask. Well, I mean, what do y'all think the dream mean? Leave what you think it means in the comment. I know what I got from it is you still married. But they were huge. Like, that jewelry was hecka thick. Like, I'm talking about, it was thick. I mean, it was real thick. And the thing was is that I wasn't upset about it. I wasn't really mad about it. I was just like, oh. Like, where did these come from? Like, I didn't know I had those on my hand. They were like this. But it was tighter. Yeah, they were just like this, but it was longer and it was thicker and it was tight and it looked like white gold. It looked like white gold right here and right here. I mean, that's the best color I can describe. Like white gold, it didn't even look like silver, so it just like a white. I knew it was jewelry and it didn't have no room and you couldn't take it off. I couldn't take it off. I just knew, like, oh, that's because I'm still married. And notice how in the dream I said, oh, that's because I'm still married. Oh, that's because I'm married. I just said, oh, that's because I'm still married. Why do I smell gas? Y'all know my daggone check engine light is on. I don't need to be smelling no freaking gas. Maybe that was on my shoes that I spilled last time. Sorry, y'all. I want to be leaking no gas. But yeah, y'all, so that was an interesting dream. That was a very interesting dream, and I remember that. But I guess I'm so fascinated. I'm like, Lord, you snatched me up. It's not funny, but God snatched me up, y'all. He snatched me up. And I went flying. And it wasn't like I was stopping anytime soon either. And I had these, and I'm looking like, what is this? So like, you know. And then I realized, oh, that's because I'm still married. I gotta get over. Come on, you guys. Let me over. I need to get home to my baby. Y'all are some selfish people. Y'all don't care. Yeah, so that was a really interesting dream. And it didn't even show you what happened to the other guy that was there. I know. Could you imagine you sitting up here messing with somebody and God just snatched them? When I tell you I was flying. And there's a significance, too, of everything in the dream. Like, I was flying backwards. I wouldn't say I saw things in time that was fast, but it wasn't like I felt like I was going forward. It was like I was flying backwards. Why is there so much traffic? Come on. I need to get home. So I don't plan a date anytime soon because I don't want the Lord to snatch me up. When I ain't nothing, I mean, it's one thing when you get snatched up by your mama or your daddy, but it's a whole nother level when you get snatched up by your creator. When I tell y'all I went flying, I mean, I was flying. You going at such speeds, you all just looking at your arms while you flying. I couldn't see what was in back of me, but I can see my arms and my hand, and I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, oh, that's because I'm still married. And I knew they would knew that it was jewelry, or not. I guess that would be the thing. It was just these two huge wrist things. I guess it's true. Not guess it's true. Oh, there's a rainbow, y'all. A rainbow. I can't really show y'all right now. I thought maybe I can. Y'all see that rainbow? Do y'all see it? It's a rainbow. It's a rainbow. I haven't done one of those in a minute. And still, you know, we still bracing ourselves for the aftermath of this daggone, hurricane that's supposed to be coming. But yeah, y'all, I was like, when I went flying back, I was just like, oh, that's because I'm still married. It's like the minute I went to try to question it, I knew what it was. This is because I'm still married. And this is not funny, but I can laugh at it, okay? Because this is my dream. I would remember these were not bangles, because bangles they clock like they have different things. This was a piece that was on my, like your hand is not bound, but it's around your arm, that you can't even take this jewelry off. You can't take it off. Like it was a part of my arm. But at the same time, I knew it was pretty. At the same time, it was shiny and it looked like white gold to me. So I didn't mind. I was just like, oh, this is because I'm still married, you know. And it was 2 pieces on both arms. But y'all, while I was sitting up here analyzing this piece, I'm still flying in the air going backwards because God snatched me and threw me. He threw me, like he snatched me and threw me. I mean, I wouldn't say he threw me like you snatch something and throw it. When he snatched me, I went flying. I went flying backwards. I went flying away from that guy. And while I was flying, I was just analyzing. You know what I mean? I wasn't upset like, oh, Lord, you just snatched me. I was just analyzing stuff. And I was just like, what's the, oh, that's because I'm still married. Come on, Carl. I need you to like really like work with me until next week. Don't break down on me, because I got to get Symphony to the daycare and got to get back and forth down this highway. I need you to work in Jesus' name. I already filled you all the way to the top. Oh my gosh, like that cloud over there looks, I don't know what's going on in the DMV region. But yeah, y'all, so I always said it, that you don't see what really happens in the spiritual realm when you get married for the first time. But what I saw that I never saw before is that on both of my arms, they were one of the same, and those represented, I knew what it represented. It meant that I was still married. And in the dream, there was a man who I knew before. And he was kissing all on my neck, and I was just, and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was facing me and kissing me. And the whole time, I really wasn't paying him no attention. I was just like, and it's amazing, too, because not too long ago, I actually saw this person's profile. But I was like, I'm not even going to go there to be even reaching out to somebody or trying to rekindle something way back when. You know, I'm just like, I'm not going to touch it with a 10-foot pole. And I guess the Lord like, no, you're not. Because in this dream, when I tell you, he snatched me, like God snatched me, and I flew. I freaking flew. Like, I wasn't even slowing down. That's how powerful he is. And he's a loving God too, because the whole time while I was flying backwards, laying, like, I'm flying backwards, y'all. While I was flying backwards, I'm analyzing. I'm like, what's this? You know what I mean? Like, I kind of felt like, I know what's going on here. This dude was kissing on me and all of that, and God was like, nope. And I went flying in a different direction than where I was at, and God, and then I saw something while I was flying that reminded me that I'm still married. And this type of jewelry that I had on me, it was pretty. It was very pretty. That it was like, hey, I was like, oh, that's because I'm still married. It wasn't. It was like if I was ever doubting anything, God in that dream told me, when I tell you he snatched me, y'all, he snatched me. And I can laugh because I'm like, Lord, you really snatched me. Like, you snatched me. He snatched me, and I went flying. He could have sent an angel down to snatch me. He could have sent something else to snatch me. But God, you came and you snatched me. And I went flying. Like, I was just like, just flying. You know, so when I think about it, it's like, whoa. And I wasn't flying face, like flying, I was flying backwards. That's another thing too. I noticed I was going back. And the reason why I say back is it was like as if I was laying down. And the whole time I'm looking at my arms and stuff, and I'm like, oh. And I didn't hear God, but I said, oh, that's because I'm still married. So, yeah, y'all. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that dream. I just can't. I mean, it surprised me. Like, Lord, out of all the things you could be doing, you really snatched the mess out of me out of that dream. And I went flying. I mean, y'all, I went flying back. And my right arm and my left arm had the same jewelry on, and this thing was solid. It wasn't, you see what I'm saying? It wasn't like as if it was just like, oh, a nice little ring. No, this was a solid thing around my arms. It was solid. It was long and solid, and I was looking, and I was like, oh, that's because I'm still married. So God was showing me that you're still married. He was showing me that being with someone else, he is not pleased at all. That he snatched me. He snatched. I wouldn't even say he snatched and flew. That one snatch, man, I was in the air. I was in the air. I know that guy was like, well, who knows, nothing. The dream it wasn't even him no more. Because once I got snatched, I was in the air. And I had a dress on too. I remember I had a dress on. It was a gown, and it was flowy at the bottom. And when I tell you, I was flying back, and I had those pretty little, they were thick, hecka thick. But yeah, y'all, and then the dream switched. I woke up from that dream like, look, really? I got snatched. I got snatched by God. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel pretty good. You know how the Bible talks about how God will give you the footsteps. He'll give you the path for your footsteps to make. Shoot. If that wasn't the path right there, he gave me straight first class snatch. But yeah, so that's really interesting. Very interesting. But that jewelry on my arms, the jewelry that was on my arms was way more than the rings that people be wearing. Like, I don't know. I guess the significance in that, because you're bound to your husband. But I'm talking about, y'all, this jewelry was thick. It was thick. And it was pretty though. It was pretty. It wasn't like as if it was just like, oh gosh. It was pretty. I was just like, what in the world? I said, oh, that's because I'm still married. And I said that in my dream. That's because I'm still married. Anyway, so I get what I got from that is that you're still married. I'm still married, and he made no mistake. This is not just something on your finger. Like, this thing was like, you couldn't remove it. Like, it was like from right here to all the way like right here. I got snatched. And once I got snatched, I was just in the air. Like, I just knew I was flying. I was flying backwards. It's like as if God he didn't throw me. Because throwing, but he's so strong. And the thing is, like, I didn't, it was like while the guy was kissing on my shoulder and on my face and stuff, and I was looking away. Next thing you know, when I tell you he snatched me and I flew, like, me and that guy knew God just snatched me. And then while I'm flying, I wasn't up close to the guy. It was like I can see myself and saw this guy kissing on me, and I knew who this guy was. He was kissing all on my shoulders and neck and stuff, and he was trying to be intimate, but I was just like looking around. And next thing you know, God just, when I tell you he snatched me, I went flying. And then while I was flying, I just started. Now remember, with that guy, I wasn't really paying attention, and then I started paying attention. I just looked at my arms, and I realized, like, because I was like, what is it? And then I was like, oh, that's because I'm still married. I pay attention to dreams, because it's not like I said, and I said this before, it's not like I said, oh, I'm married. Oh, this is because I said, oh, that's because I'm still married. So God is showing me, like, he snatched me from a man who was not my man, that was not my husband. And I was going backwards for a reason. Because when he snatched me, he snatched somebody, I went back. Like, I was just like laid back, and I can see my arms. It wasn't even my hand. So there's something significant about the arms, you know. So anyway, I wanted to share that with y'all. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Comment and let me know what y'all have. Y'all ever had a dream where God just snatched you, or that is the very first dream. I mean, I've had interactions with the Lord before, but that's the first time I ever had an interaction where God just snatches me. I mean, the way it make you feel like that, Lord, you love me so much, you snatched me out of my sin. And I'm not even sinning. Maybe my dream was, or maybe God wanted me to share that, you know, that he still looks at, you're still married. and you are bound to your spouse. But when I looked at these things on my arms, they were pretty. They were pretty. So I wasn't mad at all. Not at all. I wasn't mad at these daggone gold shackles. They weren't shackles. They were, well, I guess that's what you want to call it. Because it wasn't like as if I was trying to take them off. They were just, and I was like, oh, that's because I'm still married. But I don't remember those things. No, I don't remember those things. I never had those things. Anyway, y'all have a blessed night. I'm about to get in here and see my baby.